It's the Half Hour Wasted Legion of Dudes Extended Edition podcast. This is Jordan from Jersey with the Legion of Dudes, and this is what I thought of the final episode of Lost. The end. That's right, the episode just ended, so these are my preliminary thoughts. I'll probably do another episode later on this week once I've had some more time to think about this episode, but I just wanted to give you a quick glimpse of what I thought. Don't forget to check out also later this week the Legion of Dudes over at hhwlod.com. We'll have our full podcast devoted to this episode and the end of Lost, and I hope you listen because we'll really delve into what we thought of this episode and the series as a whole. But as for this episode of Lost, I think the one word that sums up for me is poetic. That was really moving. Maybe you did like it, maybe you didn't, maybe you thought not enough questions were answered, maybe you thought too many were, or you didn't like the answers that you got. But when all is said and done, I thought that was a very moving 2.5 hours of television. Now, as for the specifics, turns out The Flash Sideways was really purgatory or limbo of some type. Didn't really seem purgatory in the classical representations, but maybe limbo. I'm not that familiar with the distinctions. So all those people at the beginning of Lost who said they're all dead. Well, no. You were eventually right, but not in the beginning. Not on the island. So what did you think about that? I'm going to leave the comments open on this video and my future Lost videos so you can really say what you thought of the end of the show. Good, bad, indifferent. Let me know, because I'm very interested to hear it. As for me, I was very pleased. No, we didn't find out about Walt. Whatever. No, we didn't find out who built that room, who constructed the cork in the center of the island. I don't care. That was a moving hour of television focused on characters, and I loved it. So what does this mean for my time travel videos? Well, I'm not 100% sure. Yes, it was a precursor to heaven, but it was stated that they did create it as a place to meet up before they passed on. So was it created by the hydrogen bomb in the incident? And what happens to everyone in the Flash Sideways reality who's not our main cast? What happens to Jack's son? What happens to Helen? What happens to Nadia? What happens to characters we didn't even meet but who seem to exist in this world? Well, like I said, I'm going to do at least another video on this where I'll go into it more in the podcast. I'm sure we will delve deeply into what it all means and how it all works and how it all fits together. Like Desmond being able, with a near-death experience, to enter this pre-heaven and then come back, which I find kind of interesting the more I think about it. But like I said in the beginning, my one word to describe this episode is really poetic. I mean, I kind of called the ending shot specific to this episode. I mean, a lot of people called it beforehand that it would probably end on Jack's eye, but it was very, very moving to see just that move past the tennis shoe. He lays down, Vincent comes up, especially after watching the pilot again yesterday when ABC re-aired it. It felt right. Whether you liked it or didn't like it, whether you thought the answers were good or crap, to me, it felt right. And that's really all I can ask for. So this is Jordan from Jersey with the Legion of Dudes. This is what I thought preliminarily, just immediately after the episode ended. Please subscribe to this video feed because there will be more Lost content coming once I've had time to process it. Check out hhwlod.com for our Lost podcast, which should be out in the next 2 or 3 days. So that's hhwlod.com. You can subscribe on iTunes and all that. And please come back, check out my comic reviews and other reviews I might be doing throughout the year. And if this is the last video you watch, I hope you enjoyed them. And have a good rest of your life post-Lost. Bye. It's the Half Hour Wasted Legion of Dudes Extended Edition podcast.